Hello, everybody. Welcome into a Wednesday edition of the Computer America Show. It's our pre-show here at Computer America. We have the lovely and talented Sandy Berger is here with us for both hours, our computer and consumer electronics expert. We're going to be talking about all the different things that she checks out and views, and we're going to be talking to her for both hours. And let's see, what else? Of course, it's Wednesday. It's Hump Day. It's the middle of the week. And
2 minutes until showtime.
Hopefully all of you are having a wonderful Wednesday afternoon. We look forward to having you here live with us on the show. So sit back. Now, Ben, we have to come up with some things that we can tell and reveal to our the listeners who pre-watch us on our pre-show. We have to come up with some original content for them.
I've been saying that for a while now.
Well, we need to do that, and I'm going to rely on you to come up with
yeah, this whole we need to do this is just passing the buck along. I hear
you. So you will be getting some individual contact.
Like, in my opinion, you start the pre-show show at 2:58, 2:59, and it's like that gives you exactly zero time to do anything.
Well, I'll start.
So I mean, if you want to give someone 10 minutes.
Yeah, well,
then we could do something.
Well, we can do 5 minutes, maybe. We can do something.
1 minute until showtime.
In any case, we're getting started. It's at about less than 60 seconds, so sit back, relax, enjoy 2 hours of Computer America coming straight at you right here. "15 seconds.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live, it's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello, and welcome into the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And welcome into a Wednesday edition of the Computer America Show. It is, I guess, Hump Day? Middle of the week.
As you are apt to point out, yes.
Yes, and we have a terrific show for you planned for both hours. We're going to have the lovely and talented Sandy Berger joining us here for both hours. She is our consumer electronics expert, and we certainly welcome your calls. If you're listening to us live at our new time from 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday, if you're here with us, you can do that by picking up the phone and giving us a call at 347-884-8881. It's just that simple, 347-884-8881. I'll get you on and get you through. But if you're radio shy, you don't want to be heard on the air, but you still have a burning question for our guest or for myself or Ben, any page at ComputerAmerica.com, any page on the upper right-hand corner, it'll say submit a question. Just click that link. You'll go to our question submission page where you can type a question for us or a comment or suggestion. Click the submit button, and Ben and I will see what you've typed, and then we can ask our guest or read it on the air for you, so you don't have to go on the air. Okay? But we'd still love to hear from you. 347-884-8881. Okay? The other thing that you can do is you can also watch the Computer America Show. That's right. You can see us. Just go to ComputerAmerica.com. Again, any page you'll see Show Lounge. It's on our pull-down menu, which kind of goes across all of our pages. Just select the Show Lounge button or a pull-down option, and it'll take you to our our show launch page, which also begins our live streaming video. It'll do it automatically. You won't have to do anything. And you can see myself, you can see Ben, you can see our guest today, Sandy Berger. And also Ben has the technology to display websites, movies, videos. So you can see and watch what we're talking about as well as listening to Computer America. So that's just another one of the many fun things you can do from our website at computeramerica.com, which is the internet home of our radio broadcast. So also you can listen to the show in delay or after that on the Apple's iTunes. We have links. SoundCloud is new and Stitcher is new. So 2 more places you can listen to the Computer America show. We also archive our videos. We have our own YouTube channel. So again, all the links to all these different places are at computeramerica.com. But we really love to have you live with us, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We moved here. We felt that it's more convenient, so many more of you can watch the show live at this convenient time frame, and we'd love to hear from you. All right, that said, anything else before we bring Sandy on, Ben?
Anything else? No, of course, always hear us on SoundCloud and Stitcher. I really want to push Stitcher. That's something that we really want to start expanding. Check us out on our social media, of course, and I know we talked a little bit about the Star Wars Battlefront beta being out yesterday. Just came out.
There it is.
Well, I've just heard news that it is indeed going into open beta because it was in a closed beta, so only family and friends were allowed in. But you can actually go download it right now from Origin, and then starting tomorrow, you can play it just like the invitation-only crowd could. So if you've been wanting to try it yourself, go download it and try it tomorrow.
Okay, so there you go. All right, well, joining us today is Sandy Berger. And then if you don't know who Sandy Berger is, we'll tell you. She's a consumer electronics expert. She's well-versed in things like printers and cell phones and digital cameras and scanners and you name it, okay, the devices like that. Her website is CompuKiss, COMPUKISS.com. And Sandy is one of our Computer America correspondents who appears here on the show on a monthly basis. Sandy is actually 1 week early. She swapped places with another one of our correspondents, Mike Cermak. Sandy, welcome into Computer America. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing well.
And also you write for what, anewdomain.net?
I do, and I also write for Hardware Secrets.
And Hardware Secrets. Okay, yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm updating this as we talk. So we'll mention that next time. So anewdomain.net, CompuKiss.com, and HardwareSecrets.com. So
that's right.
Okay, so they're all the new places you can listen to and watch and read Sandy's articles. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Sandy, I always say this when she appears on the program. I really like what she does because when Sandy talks about something, you're not going to get a puff piece. She's going to tell you if she likes something and tells you why. She'll tell you that. And if she doesn't like something, she's going to tell you that too, and she'll tell you why. So you're going to get the real scoop from her. She's not paid to promote these items. You're getting true editorial content with Sandy, and that's what we like here. That's why we have her here on the program. So how's your month been so far? I understand you swapped places with Mike Cermak. Normally Mike would be with us. He's going to be with us next week. But how do you like our daytime slot?
I love the daytime slot. I'm a morning person, so the midnight thing was kind of wearing for me. I love this spot. I think it's great.
Okay.
I've just had a hectic few days, so I didn't get any show notes done this time, and I apologize to listeners for that. But we still have some great things to talk about. Let's put it that way.
Yes, we do. There was always good stuff. And then you'll be back with us in your regular time slot next month in November. You'll be back on November the 11th.
Okay.
Second Wednesday of the month.
And actually, I'm finding I think Craig's in a little bit of a better mood sometimes when he's doing this in the afternoon. Did you hear how he introduced me? Lovely and talented. I mean, that's pretty good for him.
I know. Normally uses that just like the blasé, the myth.
Whatever.
Well, Hey, I call him like I see him. What can I tell you? And
All right.
there you go. All right. And of course, see Ben. You can see the sunlight. That white light you're hitting him is actually sunlight because it's daytime where he is, and you can see the sunlight in the background if you're watching us behind me as well. So okay. So we're gonna get started now. A lot of these things that you're going to be talking about, you can see at the different websites at CompuKiss.com. Some of the stories are up there. But we're going to start the show off. And again, if you have any comments, give us a call, 347-884-8881. We're going to start off today with the Slimport Nano console.
Okay.
And what is that? And then what is the website so Ben can display it on the back on his background?
Not sure what the website is. I'm going to have to.
You can find it with Google, I'm sure.
Okay, I'm sure he can Google that. But what it is it's a small device that you actually take and you connect your Android phone or some other device to it, and you see it on your computer screen if you have an HDMI port. Okay. So I started off to look at this and to review it, and as I said, I got a little hectic this past 2 days, and I couldn't get it. I could not get it to work properly. Now that doesn't not necessarily mean it's the device, because I've been a little hyper myself. The device seemed to be working fine. What I couldn't get going was you have to in the directions it says change the HDMI to the HDMI port on your computer. Well, that is not as easy as changing it on your TV. To change your HDMI port on your TV, you press the input button, you go from one to another. But the HDMI port on the computer is of course built in, so you have to change the display somehow, I believe. Instructions from Slimport were not good on doing that. Matter of fact, there weren't any. And so I was kind of lost and said, I'm going to set this thing aside till later. Have either of you tried this device?
No,
no, not at all.
But Ben has the video of it up right now.
Okay.
And he's showing how it actually works. So what is the purpose of this is to
show on your anything you have on your portable device, you can show it on your computer.
Oh.
Or on your TV.
Or on your TV. It looks like it hooks up via HDMI.
Right, and that would be my next step to try to hook it up to the TV, which I believe you can do that too, but I didn't get that far. So
now it comes with a little red, looks like a touchpad, a wireless touchpad.
It's a remote control.
Yeah, but it looks like a touchpad. You can glide your thumb over it, and it moves the mouse on your smartphone to the TV screen. So this is very slick. So it looks like it's basically two components. It looks like the remote actually fits on top of the console,
which is a little square,
right?
You know, like 2-inch by 2-inch square.
Yeah, and then you can use it for presentations. What are some of the uses for this thing?
Well, presentations would be one, but if you have anything on your mobile device that you want to watch on your TV, say you download movies or whatever, or on your computer, then you can hook it up and do that. I'm assuming at this point you can watch this on your TV, but I'm not positive.
And it has
the little video that they showed, you can hook up to your TV. So I guess if we're looking for use cases, I know a lot of people have iTunes and photos and videos on their phone. This seems like a really easy way to send it to a television directly. Like, you don't have to go through anything. You don't have to have a smart TV. Even a dumb TV, this kind of setup would work.
Right, as long as you have HDMI port on the TV. So that negates using really old TVs, but all the newer ones do have HDMI ports.
Now, it looks like this is strictly an Android device, or is it for an iPhone as well?
It's strictly an Android device because the connection is for Android. And I see nothing in the documentation talking about Apple, so that might be something coming.
Now you can also use it. While you're using it, it charges your smartphone or tablet at the same time. So basically, you can use this indefinitely. It would seem.
Right. Now the only thing about it, just in handling it to try to get it to all work properly, is that there's a lot of cables. You've got a charging cable leading into it, and then you've got your HDMI cable leading, from your device to where you want to show it. So it's far from being wireless, although it has built-in Bluetooth for the remote. The remote is wireless.
It is that. And so you can use this for mobile games, mobile movie theater, or just for presentations. It looks like a very cool little device. What's the price of this thing?
I don't know. I told you I haven't gotten that far. I never look. Now I'll be honest with you. I never look at the price of something until I've completely looked at it. Sometimes I know the price up front, but if I don't know the price, I don't look it up because I don't want that to influence my review. I want to review this thing and come out at the end saying, "Oh, this thing is really neat," and if it's a high price, that's okay. Or, boy, this thing is not worth what they're going to be asking for it. So that's why I don't know.
Okay. Well, I'm sure we'll
come back next month, and I'll give you a fuller review.
Yeah, we won't ruin the surprise and ruin the whole review for you by looking it up. So
that's right. That's right.
Okay.
We'll let you know.
All right. Well, then you want to move on to the next thing, which is the on your list, which is the Apple Watch and the new Watch 2.0 operating system.
Right. Well, would you believe I finally got an Apple Watch?
Oh my goodness!
Let's see if you guys can see it. Oh, I got to turn my arm off.
Let's see.
See, yeah. When you put it up to your face, it turns on automatically. So there's some really cool things about this Apple Watch, but I still have reservations.
Now, what band did you get, and what color is it? Because I still.
Okay, let me hold it up.
Yeah.
It's there we go.
Okay, it looks like it's
the rose gold.
Rose gold. Ooh.
And they call it a lavender sport. This is a sport model.
Okay.
Okay, they call it a lavender band, but as you could see if you were watching when I was holding it up, it's kind of like an off-white. I would have probably called it oyster color or something like that. It's just an off-white color. I see no lavender in it at all. To be quite honest with you. The rose gold is very nice. I'm a rose gold fan, which is why I looked at this one. But it's a dull rose gold. It's not shiny like you might expect rose gold jewelry to be shiny. This is the same as the iPhone, which is a dull kind of rose gold.
Are you going to get the 6S, or which is the rose gold, or?
I don't know. This has the touch and press that the 6S has.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
And I have the 6.
Okay. Yeah. Ben and I both had 5S's, and then Ben left his out in the rain. So I guess now I have the 5S, and
I mean, it didn't melt. I mean, I have it right here.
But it doesn't work. It's just basically
Technically.
Why would you leave it out in the rain, Ben?
It was looking dry because I forgot it. Well,
it's been raining here for 2 weeks. I'm in North Carolina, and yesterday when the sun came out, I was absolutely thrilled. But there were probably some people like you who said, "Oh my goodness, the sun's out. I can see that I left my watch outside."
Oh, that'd be a sad day. But yeah, in North Carolina, you guys had all that rain. You didn't get any flooding near you, did you?
No, I didn't.
No, we didn't either. Craig, you're farther west than we are. I'm in the what they call the Sandhills area in the middle of the state. And we had a ton of rain. We were very lucky because we had some wind come through too, but it was enough for trees to start to topple because of the ground was so wet. But we really didn't have any problems like they had in South Carolina. Mm. However, my sister, who lives in California, called and asked me to send some of the rain to her, which of course I was unable to do. But that's how it goes. They've got not enough rain, and we had too much.
There's an app for that, though. I think you can send water.
Oh yeah, send water.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
All right, so you have the Apple Watch, and and you like that. And I was starting to say before before I told you that Ben left us out in the rain, but usually we wait a year. For example, we had the 4S, and then we went to the 5S. So now we're going to go to the 6S. Ben's going to get a 6S Plus to replace his, and I'm going to get a 6S. Probably sometime, I would say next week is when that'll happen, and then we'll have the Force screen, because the Force Touch looks very, very interesting.
It is, and the Force Touch you also have on the phone. I mean on the watch.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the Force Touch actually first appeared on the watch.
Right.
And then they brought this technology over to the 6S, which now, and I'm probably going to go for the just not the rose gold. I'm going to go for the gold color because my 5S is a gold color.
He always goes for the gold.
And I always
he loves gaudy for some reason. I don't get it.
Yeah, and Ben's going to get the space gray for his 6S. Plus.
Okay. All right.
So,
well, the touch. I actually had trouble getting used to that. The first few times I tried it, I couldn't do it, and it just takes a little getting used to. But once I got used to it, I'm kind of really liking it. So.
Well, you just hold your finger on it lightly and then press. Is that
right? Yeah.
And you were just slamming your finger.
I don't know what I was doing. I think I wasn't holding my finger on long enough, but whatever. In the first 2 days, I was ready to say, "Oh, forget this watch," because I couldn't get it to work. But eventually, I did get it. So it's just a question of how you press on it.
And of course, on the 6S, you're going to have you can display different things by just pressing down and holding it down will cause it to pop open. I guess is that you can peek at it, and then if you want to pop it open, you can.
What it is like, and I just saw it briefly, but what it is like is you're using that kind of like a right click on the computer.
Mm-hmm.
So when you right click on the computer, you get up information about what you're clicking on, and that's pretty much what the touch press is. So if I touch press on the watch face on the watch, it will allow me to change the watch faces and to customize them.
Which watch face did you finally settle upon? Because they had
Well, the thing is, you can change it 10 times a day if you want to. I love the Mickey Mouse, which is just great. The flowers are fantastic because they have these flowers and they go from one type to another. So you see the yellow one and then the white one and then the pink one, but they're moving. So when you first pick up your wrist to look at the time, you see the time, and then the flower opens up in back of the time, which is really kind of neat. A lot of them are great, and that's something that they added with this Watch 2.0 operating system.
So let's talk a little bit about that. The Watch 2.0 operating system came out when?
A couple weeks ago.
Okay, so they're adding all kinds of new abilities to the original Apple Watch.
Right.
So,
and they did add some even before that, because when the watch first came out, the reason I didn't really want anything to do with it is because all the apps and everything was working strictly through your phone.
mm-hmm.
And that made the watch much slower. So they corrected that even before Watch 2.0 came out. So the apps now, a lot of the apps actually, reside and work right on the watch.
Now you can answer the phone and talk to the phone without even touching your phone, all with the Apple Watch. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
How do you find that?
Well, to me, it's half and half. If I am sitting on at my desk, mm-hmm. and it's nice and quiet, my phone will ring, my watch will ring, and I can tap it to answer the call, and I can hear the person clearly. They can hear me clearly. However, if I'm in any sort of a noisy atmosphere, I really can't use it. I can't hear it. They can't hear me. I can't hear them. So, it's half and half. I wouldn't use it all the time, but I do use it some of the time.
All right. I think this is in coordination with when I upgraded to a Yosemite. When my phone rings now, my computer will also ring, and I can answer the phone on my computer. Right. And if I'm sitting in front of my computer and it's relatively quiet in here, I can do that. However, since my computer isn't portable, I really haven't been able to test it answering my computer when I'm out in the field because my computer is never out in the field. It's always in my office. So, but I understand what Apple is trying to do is they're trying to pass along the information to whatever device you happen to be nearby, which is kind of nice and convenient. But it makes sense because the iPhone has noise cancellation the techniques that it uses. It has 2 microphones and they use, so really you don't hear much background, if any background noise at all. So which is nice. And
also you're putting it up to your ear, which makes a really big difference. Than the watch, you put it up to your mouth. You don't put it necessarily to your ear. So that's why there's a little discrepancy between hearing and talking.
Right, exactly. So in quiet areas, it's fine if you're out and about. If you're in your car, maybe even you could do it, But
well, in my car, it automatically connects, which is one of the neat things about it. There are some things I find really neat about it.
Like what?
Like getting directions on it. So I can use, it's got Siri. I just press the button and talk to Siri. Give me directions for such and such, and then I get in the car. Now my car has a GPS built in. I don't find those directions that great. Apple's directions are better, and this is even better because the directions are right on my wrist. So if I want to, and it gives you the haptic feedback and a beep. So you feel it and you see it. You see it if you can put your arm on top of the steering wheel and see, okay, now let's turn. Oh, guess what? Siri is asking directions to where. She's asking me where I want to go. I guess I called her name.
Yeah.
But in any case, and it also taps you when it's going to be time to turn. So I really like the directions very much.
Tell me a little bit about that haptic feedback. What is that like? Is that getting used to as well, or is that something more intuitive?
It's intuitive. No getting used to it at all. You feel this little tiny tap on like a tap on your wrist, and it's real easy. I mean, it's just it's not aggravating. It's not. it's actually pretty perfect.
It's not a little electric shot.
No shock. No shock. They did some wonderful things with this watch, and the first thing is the design. The design of the watch is, I think, phenomenal. That they could put this much information on one little watch face, and I have the smaller model, and I was afraid that the smaller model would be hard to press the various, and it takes a little bit of getting used to, but it's very easy to use. More so, that impressed me. I guess the thing that impressed me the most is the sports model, which is the cheapest model. Is extremely lightweight. The band weighs next to nothing, and the watch itself is lighter weight because the more expensive ones have that sapphire glass on it, which I guess gives you more protection for the face, but it's heavier. So if you put one of the more expensive ones, compare it to this is really lightweight, and I love that about it because I can wear it all day. I can put it on first thing in the morning and wear it until night, and it doesn't bother me at all. And I'm amazed at that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you should sit back. So there you go. Because we're only going to just. All right. So,
the one thing I'm kind of curious about is that with the advent of smartphones and all this kind of thing, a certain generation does not wear watches anymore. It's just not their thing. So, do you think this would kind of bring people into wearing watches? Like is there enough utility in the Apple Watch to kind of warrant wearing a watch?
I think that's an amazing thing. I myself was not wearing watches that much anymore. I'd put one on every now and then. But you're right. The younger kids just don't wear watches. They just use their phone. So do they want to have this on? I don't know. And that's the thing that Apple is, and others that are coming out with these watches now we're going to have to find out. It is very useful. To have the time on your wrist is much more useful than to have it in your pocket. To me, there's no doubt about that because I look at the time more now than I ever did before. more with this watch than I ever did before. And so is that enough to make you want to wear it? That's what I'm not sure about. In general, that's what I'm not sure about this watch. Is there enough utility in it to make you want to wear it, make you want to pay the price for it? Because, yeah. Go ahead, Craig.
Well, again, speaking as one who always has always have worn a watch. You see, I'm wearing a watch right now. I know for a while I didn't have a watch. It was sort of synonymous with Ben's leaving his phone out in the rain. I dropped mine in the toilet and flushed it, and it went away.
And flushed it. See, there's a difference.
Oh.
So the point is, for quite some
time, sewer rat with a very nice watch.
I was for about 4 months I did not have a watch, and I figured, okay, well, I got the phone. I'm going to live the life that everybody else is. I'll just look at, and I found it extremely inconvenient to do that. Every time I needed a time, I had to go look at my phone, and I could not get away from looking at my bare wrists and say, oh, I got to look at the phone. That would be it. I don't know if that's being a creature of habit or not, but when I finally went and I had a dress watch, which is this one, which I hadn't worn in years, and I put this on. So I've been wearing this. And I think that with an Apple Watch, that would probably be even more desirable. But I haven't made the move over to the Apple Watch yet. I'm going to get the 6S phone and see how that works and how everything lives up to that, and then go on from there.
Right, and certain things you can do very, very easily on this. I don't find it easy to do email on it.
No.
You can see the email if you're just looking to see, did I get this email from somebody? To actually go in and read it on the small screen is not very, it's very cumbersome, let me put it that way. But however, for texting, it's great because you can type things, text, you can choose, like you get a text and you want to respond, you can make a list for yourself of the things that you usually respond, like, okay, let's go, meet you there, whatever it is, and you can just do that, or you can talk to it. So you can use Siri to read your text or verbally speak your text. And it's even got happy faces and emoticons and all that. So it's, I should say, Josie.
All right, I have more questions for you, but we're at the bottom of the hour, so we're going to take a little break, and then we'll continue on. You're listening to the Computer America Show. We're talking to Sandy Berger, new Watch 2.0 operating system that just came out this past week. We got a news test build and review from Marty Winston as well. That's all coming up, so stay tuned for more Computer America.
Sometimes disaster strikes. Data can be lost due to many different reasons. Accidental reformatting, power spikes, virus attacks. Zero Assumption Recovery provides a suite of highly effective and thorough data recovery software for Windows operating systems. ZA is suitable for home users and small businesses who need a powerful data recovery solution for Windows and Linux file systems.
Go to z-a-recovery.com.
Sometimes disaster strikes. Data can be lost due to many different reasons. Accidental reformatting, power spikes, virus attacks. Zero Assumption Recovery provides a suite of highly effective and thorough data recovery software for Windows operating systems. ZA is suitable for home users and small businesses who need a powerful data recovery solution for Windows and Linux file systems.
Go to z-a-recovery.com.
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? Not so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they're available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
Don't say you're breaking up, say you're disengaged. Oh, hi, it's Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, the Skiva PowerFlow Stand Charger. Underpowered chargers feel like trying to douse a big fire with home aquarium hose, but a lot of charging gear is underpowered and starving their charging ports. That's not so with Skiva, and their new PowerFlow Stand Charger impressed us by its capacity to simultaneously deliver a full 2.4 amps to each and every one of its 7 ports. Clever doesn't stop there. This single stand has 7 divided sections, so you can stand up smartphones and tablets in each slot and get back a lot of desktop real estate. Also, these slots are wide enough to let you leave their cases on. Bottom line, the new Skiva PowerFlow 7-port stand charger offers uncompromised charging power in a nicely tight space. Marty Winston for News Tips Bulletin and Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. Here, 33 minutes past the hour, we have Sandy Berger here. That was Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review. And yes, we have Craig talking about the Apple Watch and Apple products, and he has something else tickling his mind about, or I should say, force touching his mind about the Apple Watch. So,
well,
Craig.
What I wanted to know is that what did they add new to the Watch 2.0 operating system? What is specifically to that, Sandy?
The watch faces are new, so there's a lot of different watch faces that are brand new. You can use your own photographs now for the watch faces, which is interesting. You can choose one and have from your photo album, have it be a static background. You can also choose like a slideshow so that every time you look at it, it's a different one.
Now, are you talking like watch faces? Like every time I look, I can have a different watch face?
Yes, that's right.
The
background for your watch face.
The background for the watch face, but
yeah.
The watch face that you pick, let's say it's Mickey Mouse. Can I have it one time I look at Mickey and then the next time I look at it, it's a different watch face from Apple? Can you do that as well, or is it just?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say earlier when I said you could change the watch face 10 times a day if you want to.
Okay.
In other words, right now I have Mickey Mouse on. If I press it, I can slide my finger across and go to the next choice. The next choice might be flowers or the moon cycles or my own pictures. Okay, then I tap on the face to choose the one that I want, and I can change that in an hour if I want to.
Okay, all right. So, but you can't have it do it randomly. In other words, it chooses a watch face randomly.
Yeah, as far as I know, the only thing you can do randomly is your own photos. You can have, if you put on a bunch of your own photos, you can have that change randomly. Okay. And it's just a background like Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse is actually his hands. Show you where he's at, give you the time, right? Yeah. And his feet count the seconds, which is really neat.
So what I'm hoping is maybe the next iteration or something they'll have it so it'll randomly pick an Apple Watch face, or you can have a selection of watch faces that you wanted to choose from.
Yeah, and maybe you can do that now, but I haven't found it yet. If you can. Okay. Okay.
What else is new with Watch 2.0?
I think that a lot of things have been improved, like the glances and the complications. And one thing that people don't realize is that this is controlled by your iPhone. So your iPhone, everything is controlled by your iPhone. So some people have asked me, when they updated their iPhone and they got that watch icon on there, they wanted to delete it. How can you delete that? I don't have an iWatch, but you can't delete it. But if you have an iWatch, it's very useful because you're pressing on it and you're getting up all the settings and everything for your actual watch.
I understand from Apple that they said that the next iteration of the iOS 9, one of the modifications is that you will be able to delete the Apple Watch.
The Apple Watch.
Yeah, a couple of them. Actually, there's a couple of them on that. If you don't want the stocks or whatever. Right now, I take them all and put them in a little Apple folder on my iPhone and put them out of the way. But supposedly, you're going to be able to select and delete the ones that you don't want, short of things that are critical, like system. You don't want to get rid of the system because you need that.
Right.
But some of the ones like the newspaper, or some of the ones that are modified, if you don't want that stuff, you can actually delete it, which is interesting because the news feed now is part of when you're shifting to the left now. You have that, you can add more, you can get news stories. But so there are other ways of getting information. But my understanding is Apple's going to make a lot of those apps deletable.
Right, and Apple is constantly improving this watch as well. So there are other things that they're going to be doing in the future that you'll see.
Anything else new with the 2.0 operating system?
You know, since I hadn't used the watch specifically with the 1.0, I'm not sure what they've actually added and what's new and what's not new. But I will tell you that one thing they did add, I know, in the contacts, you use the button at the bottom. There's two buttons on the phone. The top is a scroll, and the bottom is just a press button. You press that button on the bottom, and you get up your friends, which is now in 2.0 they've added the ability to add more friends and to add groups of friends. And it's really neat because you press the button and you scroll to the person, or you tap the person that you want to contact, and it's immediate. You can call him or you can text him, or if he's got an Apple Watch, there are more things that you can do. So it's the grouping and the contacts is really neat.
Yeah, there was a couple of features. I think they started off with the original one. Also, there was like a emotional feed. You can send the message, but it's sort of like an emotional response that you can do that. You can actually use the haptic touch feed as well to.
Right. Yeah, and you can send somebody your heartbeat. If they have to have an Apple Watch too. So if you get one,
that's creepy.
I'll send you my heartbeat.
That's creepy, right?
No, it's an I love you thing. It's pretty cool. One thing you can do on this in the settings, you can go to the settings on the watch, and you can have it ping the watch, your phone. So it'll ping your phone, and your phone will ring. In other words, if you're always losing your phone, this is great because sometimes I lose my phone and I had it on vibrate.
Oh.
Right. And that's really aggravating because you can't just call the phone and have it ring. But this thing, this little ping, you can do even if your phone is on vibrate, which is really neat to help you find your phone.
That's sort of like, you're right, like for example, Find My iPhone will do that. So if you misplace your iPhone and it's on mute or have you can still ping it using Find My iPhone. But you have to go to your computer to do that and have it do it, and then if your computer's in another room, you have to start running out, depending on how big your house is, to see if you can.
Right, exactly.
With the watch, that's actually very neat because now, I don't remember where I put it. You can start pinging it, and your phone will ping, and you can actually locate where you last left it. I could see that to be a very useful feature.
Yeah, and I find other little tiny things that are really useful as I keep using it. For instance, I went to a meeting the other night, and my watch started ringing in the meeting.
Right.
But the way to turn it off is you just quickly put your hand on top of the face, and it turns it off.
Really?
So that's really cool because you only get, you can do that when you only have like half a ring or 2 tones of your ringtone, and you put your hand over it, and it makes it shut up, which is.
I love that. You see, that's
useful.
Very useful, very intuitive things, and probably the only people who come up with ideas like that are people who are using it. Gee,
right.
Great idea. I could stop it just by putting my hand over the whole screen. That has to come from people who are using the watch. Developers.
Right. Yeah, and they've, like I said, they've done a great job. I think they've done a great job design-wise with the watch, and also with the software. For instance, what they call glances. You swipe up on the watch face, and you get your glances, which you can customize on your iPhone. So the first thing it tells me is that I have a Craig Crossman radio show at 3 o'clock.
Oh, hope you didn't forget that.
No, I didn't forget it because it reminded me. And then you go sideways to get the next one and the next one. So then on here I have the Dow Jones Index, where it's at. I have the weather here, and I can just scroll back and forth. I can get my heart rate. I can get the settings, and I can play music. But you can customize that to be what you want. I also get the battery remaining on mine, which I find very useful.
Is that battery remaining for the iPhone or battery remaining for the watch?
For the watch.
For the watch.
And the watch has lasted me a whole day, but no more than a day. And if I talk or use it a lot, it's getting really close to zero. And by the evening, there is a battery reserve that you can press to make it last just a little bit longer. So you do have to charge it every night.
Now, do you put the charging stand by your bed, or is that where you would normally put it?
Well, that's one thing that I do know is new with 2.0. Watch 2.0, you can now take the watch, lay it on its side, and put it on your nightstand. So it's got I'm not sure what they call it, a nightstand type thing for the watch. So if you set a timer for your alarm to get up in the morning, you can press the button, you touch the watch, and it'll go, the light will light up and give you the time, and it's all horizontally so that it's laying down, and so they've made it to use it on your nightstand.
Is that an adapter or something, or dock?
No, no, there's no dock or anything. You just lay it down sideways, and it'll do that. It'll go into that mode.
But it has to. How does it connect to the power source? In other words, that charges it.
The charger is magnetic.
Okay.
It's a little tiny circle about that big, and you put it on the back of the watch.
And it just magnetically clips to it, and then you can leave the watch lying on its side.
Exactly.
And so you can actually use that as a now, if you want to see the time on it, would you tap it or you talk?
You tap it.
You tap it.
You tap it and you see the time. There's a snooze. I think you press the lower button or something for the snooze. I don't remember that. But you can snooze it, and all sorts of different things that you can do with it.
Well, so obviously they've thought the process through. One of the things that I had mentioned to Ben that I was very happy to see is that when the iPhone 6 first came out, they did not make a dock for it. You know, and for the 5 and the 5S, it's that little white dock. You know, this little white.
Right.
The thing here, actually, I have it here. I can hold it up to the camera. This is the little white dock that Apple makes for the iPhone, and it has an indentation in it, so the phone has to fit in that indentation. If you're watching the video,
right, to charge, you mean?
Right, to charge, right, and the 6 and the 6S wouldn't fit into that. So I said, okay, that was one of the reasons why I was reluctant to get the 6. Well, Apple has come out with another dock that looks just like this, but it doesn't have...
Folks, if there was any further evidence that you needed to prove that Craig was a creature of habit, this is it. He refused to upgrade to a clearly better phone because his docking station would not work.
Exactly. But now this new dock works with the 5S, the 5, and the 5C, and this is because it's flat and it extends up, so the 6 and the 6S will fit into it perfectly.
But you still have to buy a new dock.
Yes, I'm going to have to buy 2 new docks because I have one by my bed as a nightstand, and then I have one by the computer, so I have 2. So I'm going to order 2 of the newer docks, and when I get when I get the 6S, so we do that. The other thing, though, I'm still on the. I'm listening to you talk about the Apple Watch, and I'm sort of like on the edge. I'm saying, you know, I don't need it, but maybe this might be something that I could use. So,
I've had it for 2 weeks, and I still don't know if it's something that I want to use or that I really. You don't need it. Let me put it that way. I don't need it. There are very few people that actually need one of these. I can see some reasons why you might need it. But do you want it? Do you want to have it? Will you use it enough to make it worth your while? And I still haven't decided that myself.
If you're a watch person, then would that work in your favor? Are you a watch person, first of all?
I am a watch person. I have a lot of watches, and I like watches. I don't mind at all wearing one. So that's a plus. one thing we didn't talk about on the iPhone that it has that's really cool is called complications. Have you ever heard the term complications in regarding watches? Do you understand what that is?
You're right. You said iPhone. You mean the Apple?
I'm sorry, Apple Watch.
Okay. Complications on the Apple Watch. What is complications on the Apple Watch?
On a regular watch, a complication is anything that they add to the watch.
Oh yes. Okay.
To give you more information.
Yes,
so, you know, this started years and years ago with watchmakers who started adding the chronographs and the
phases of the moon and
yes, and all these other things, and it was a real big deal to watchmakers that they were able to add. The more they could add to the phones, the better watchmaker they were, right?
Right, the watches, yes.
Exactly. So they, and Apple took the word complications, and that they've used it now for the things that they've added to the watch. So, for instance, on some watch faces, you can have a watch face that is called utility, okay? And on that one, on the bottom, you can see your next appointment. On the top, you can see the weather. You can see the battery charge. And these are customizable, so you can see the time in a different time zone, whatever's convenient, really convenient for you. You can see right on the watch face.
That's nice.
Okay. What's even nicer, though, is though you see, say, let's take the weather. All right, I'm going to tap on the weather, and what I get is I get the weather here in Pinehurst, North Carolina. I scroll up to get the 10-day forecast. I scroll sideways, and I can get the weather set up for other cities that I might have it set up for. On top of that, Apple has done a phenomenal job of fitting things into this little tiny watch face. So the weather has a percentage and a umbrella in the middle of the first screen. If I press on that umbrella, it'll tell me the percentage of rain for each hour of the day, percent chance of rain for each hour of the day.
You're drilling down into the complication.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so I press again, and it says Fahrenheit or centigrade, whatever you have it set up for, and it'll tell you the temperature that is expected for each hour of the day. You hit it again, and it will show you the sun, the moon, the degrees for each hour of the day.
Wow.
And all this on this little tiny screen. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I remember Tim Cook when in his keynote originally, when he revealed before he revealed the Apple Watch, he said this required some, and I love the phrase he used, deep thought. You know.
That's it. They've gone deep. They've really done well. I mean, the idea that you can reach any of your contacts, and let me see how many contacts they have fit in here now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 12 contacts with pictures of the contacts, if you have a picture of them, on the screen at any given time.
And it's sort of like with your iPhone, you can scroll to the right and you can see pictures small of contacts and everything.
Right, on the new 9.0 or 9.1. Yeah.
9.0.2 is the latest version. So let me ask you this. Also with the Apple Watch, there is, to conserve power, my understanding is that they either improved it or they got it correct the first way. Your watch is powered down, but when you lift it up as you would a normal watch to your face, that's when it powers on. Is that how it works?
That's right. And conserve power, I think, does even more than that, and I haven't actually used it yet. So at the end of the day, when it gets down to a certain percentage, it'll say, do you want to conserve power? And then you press on that, and it will take the power down, just like it does on the iPhone.
Yes, it does that now. 9.0, they added a conserve power, which will reduce the amount. I think it turns the locations off. It turns a bunch of things that you don't necessarily use, and it just powers back on those things to conserve power.
And the thing I really liked about it on the iPhone is that when you do charge it back up, it automatically knows to turn off that conserve power off. When it gets up past 50 or 60%, it turns it off for you, so you never have to remember to, that you have that on, which is the way it should be, I think.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Why not? That makes That makes perfect sense. Again, why do you have to keep on top of the less things you have to worry about with these devices, and you can have them do automatically? That makes perfect sense. Yeah, when you have enough power, turn off the conserve power, and then when it finds that it needs to do it, it'll turn it back on.
Right. And as I'm using it, I will say this: it seems that every day I discover something new about it.
Really?
So yeah, and be it because I've actually looked at it, which you can discover a lot of things if you look at the phone, your iPhone, and you go into the settings of it. You can like the glances, you can change the glances, and you can change the way they come on. In other words, if you most of the time you want to see how much battery power is left, you can make that the first glance, or you can make it the last glance, whatever you.
You're talking about the watch again, yes.
Watch.
Yeah. So, for example, in the iPhone, you can have the battery is displayed in the upper right-hand corner, and you can turn on the percentage if you want to. That's a setting that you can.
Right.
I always have that turned on, so you can see how much percent. So the Apple Watch doesn't show percentage, or it's not there until you make it as a glance, or can you configure those? What was it called? The actually to display a power.
Yeah, you can go into settings anytime and look at it, and it is. You can also set it up as a glance so that you can just scroll by it on your phone, or depending on the watch face that you choose, a lot of them you can put the percentage of battery power left.
Right on the actual watch.
Right on the actual watch face.
Right, exactly.
And like I said, sometimes I discover these things kind of by accident. So the other day I went to press a button and I pressed both buttons at the same time. You know what that does?
What?
Takes a screenshot. Which I did not know. You actually hold the lower button down, press the top button, and it takes a screenshot and sends it to your photos. So that has to be the easiest way I've ever seen to take a screenshot. It's really.
And again, you discovered that by accident. I guess just living with a device, you begin to find more and more options, things because there's no manual, right? There's actually no physical manual that comes with the watch, or is there?
There is a slight, Apple always gives you a piece of paper with a few little things on it.
Right.
Now they have wonderful videos online. So there's actually a user's manual online. You can go through that. And then they have videos of how to do the various things. I believe there's probably close to 10 videos on how to use complications, how to use your contacts, settings, all that.
So there are like tips and tricks and things. And then, of course, in addition to Apple, there are always other websites. They'll say, hey, here's some hidden tricks or things that you can do.
Right. So when I write about it, which will be this week, I'll be writing about the watch and have articles out on CompuKiss.com and also on Hardware Secrets. I'll have an article out. And, of course, in that article, I'm going to put a couple of the tricks that I found as I was using it. So. Plus other information about it.
Yeah, well, that's always the discovery process with these devices is, I think, part of the fun, really, because you can't get it all at once. I like that, discovering things. Oh, I didn't know I could do that with my iPhone.
Well, Ben, you discover things like that too, don't you? I mean, isn't it? It's like playing a game. You just try various things until you figure out what to do, right?
Yeah, he discovered that leaving his phone in the rain.
You're never going to hear the end of that.
That's not a big deal. I can go if you like, but no. I mean, like the first time I got an iPhone, I finally got an iPhone, after Generation 4 came out. So I didn't figure out until a couple months into it that if you press the power button and the home button at the same time, it takes a screenshot of the phone. Like things like that, I didn't find out till later. Anyways, do I like that? I mean, really. The best place to find out how to use these things to their fullest extent, including shortcuts, hotkeys, and that kind of thing, you go online and you look it up from a third-party site. Apple doesn't clearly list those, and that's a little annoying to me.
That's true, because I went through some of the Apple tutorials, and I didn't see this screenshot, this idea of taking a screenshot, which I think is phenomenal. I didn't see that any place on the Apple website. We have to tell people, though, that you went from the jitterbug to an Apple, to an iPhone. So that's a pretty big leap.
Technically, I went from an HTC and upgraded to a jitterbug, and then I went to the iPhone. So.
Okay. All right.
And ask him which phone he's using now, Sandy.
What phone are you using now? Jitterbug?
The old reliable Jitterbug is currently being a placeholder. So.
Oh, there we go. I think the Jitterbug is a decent phone. Has a good use.
Ages well.
Found another use for it.
much like the user base, it ages well.
Ages well. That's right. That was well said.
Yes, he did. Yes, that's why he's my co-host. But we are looking forward to. Now, I don't know if the 6S Plus is available. Last I checked with AT&T, they still didn't have any in stock. Is the 6S Plus? Do you know, Sandy, if that's becoming available? I know there's been a backlog on that.
Our Verizon store, I know, has some in. So I think it depends which way you're going.
Okay.
To buy it. Had you considered the Apple rental program?
I'm considering everything because I think with the next, I think AT&T Next program. There are a lot of plans out there. The only thing that makes it a little more difficult is I have some legacy attached because Aaron and his fiance both have smartphones that they have. She has a Windows phone, but they're all on the AT&T plan. They're all bundled on her plan. So if I were to change it or drop it, that might affect them because their phones might not be compatible. So it's making it a little bit more difficult. But
why wouldn't their phones be compatible with your plan?
That's right.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. So I gotta go down to the AT&T store here in town when I'm upgrading it and getting Ben's phone, I'm going to make inquiries as to how that affects them and what they can and can't do. So, and they may have to switch their phones. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, the way this whole phone situation works out is that it is more aggravating and more confusing for the user than not. You know, you would think that once they did away with these 2-year contracts, which almost everybody has done away with now, that it would be much easier to understand. But boy, you go into AT&T or Verizon, and it's like a nightmare trying to understand what they're telling you and what the best way to handle it is.
You have to sit down with a representative and take 15 or 20 minutes or half an hour with them and check out all the options.
Oh, but I don't want to talk to them.
Yeah, well, I'm going to have to. So.
That's good then.
Yeah, I'm going to do it.
Well, if you don't want to talk to them, then you can rent your phone from Apple now, and this is the first year that Apple is doing that.
That's true.
And that way you can get a new phone every 2 years, or every time a new phone comes out, you can upgrade.
But AT&T Next also offers that too.
Yes, they do, and so does Verizon, and they all have different hooks and different ways they do things. So that's what I meant. It's very hard to understand.
Yeah, but again, you have to sit down with the representative and just spend a couple hours or an hour with them at least to figure out what's going on. All right, listen, we're coming to the top of the hour, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about things like Windows 10. Is it spying on us now? Ooh, we're going to talk about that. And also, the Amazon Fire TV. We're going to talk about that as well. And other topics with Sandy. So we're gonna take a break. You're listening to the Computer America Show with Ben, myself. 347-884-8881 is the number to get you on and get you through. We're live every day now from 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We're gonna take a short break. No ads, really, just a very short top of the hour break, and then we'll be back with another hour of the Computer America Show. Oh, I forgot to mention a news tips bulletin review also. Stay with us.
Broadcasting live, it's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. You got computer problems? Bring them on. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@ComputerAmerica.com.
Hello and welcome into Hour 2 of the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And we continue on with Sandy Berger. She is our consumer electronics expert. In the first hour, we talked a little bit about the Slimport Nano console. We're going to have more information about that probably next month when Sandy has more time to play with that particular product. And we've been focusing pretty much on the Apple Watch with the new Watch 2.0 operating system that just came out this week. this past week, and again, some of the features. If you missed any portion of the show, you can listen to it again. We archive all of our programs at the internet home of Computer America, which is computeramerica.com. So you can listen to rebroadcasts, archives, watch the archives of the videos. All the links are there at computeramerica.com. So Sandy Berger, a consumer electronics expert, continues on with us. Any last thing you want to mention about the Apple Watch before we move to the next topic? I know
I think the last thing that I want to say about it is that it is going to control the new Apple TV when it comes out next month. So you'll be able to use the watch as a remote control for the TV, which I think will be very interesting.
Yeah, now you bring up a good point, because I've been kind of excited about the Apple TV. Ben's given it a ho-hum yawn. But I think that it looks really cool. I think that of all the Apple TV,
not a oh-hum yawn. It's another good option in the current market. Like I'm not gonna say it's better than Roku or better than anything else. It's just another option. It seems like you're putting extra emphasis on it because Apple made it.
No, well, but let me ask you, Sandy. You have the Roku, and I know they're coming out with the Roku 4. TiVo just announced their version. What was it called again, Ben?
The Bolt.
The Bolt.
The Bolt, yeah. Has this little hump in the middle, which a skewed hump, which looks actually very interesting. Looks really nice. So these are the products that are coming out, and of course the Apple TV now with the new remote and Siri integrated into that as one. What's your feeling? Have you had a chance to play with the Apple TV yet?
Well, the Apple TV hasn't come out yet, and oh no, I said next month, meaning November, but actually it's coming out in October. Okay. I believe they had a big emphasis on sports and being able to watch 2 games at once and to zoom in and all that. Mm-hmm. And so I'm hoping that it comes out before the World Series.
I'm hoping it'll come out before you run next time, November.
Yeah, that would be great. So anyway, Ben, I have to go with Craig on this one, because after watching the promo that Apple gave at their conference about the Apple TV, it really did look fantastic. So I'm anxiously waiting for it too, and I think that it's going to be superior to some of these other things that are out there now. And the one we're going to talk about right now is the Amazon Fire TV, now which also just came out.
Now, before you get into that, I have to say something. I don't know if you watch a lot of TV. Do you happen by any chance to watch? There's a TV series called Castle.
No, I don't watch that.
Okay.
Should I?
Well, oh yeah, I think it's.
All right.
I think it's like a TV show. Nathan Fillion that stars in it. But I thought of you when I saw this. One of the episodes. I think it's the more recent ones. It's one of the new series. He gets this new device, which is obviously a playoff of the Amazon Echo, but instead of the Echo, because obviously they didn't pay for it, they have this thing. It's a black pyramid with a little translucent top and a little. Okay. And little lights around the base of it, and he starts talking. He gets this, and he loves gadgets too, by the way, the character. And he starts talking to it, and he has an ongoing conversation with it, and it actually gives him a hint to a clue to help him solve a mystery. But that aside, it shows you how these devices are really kind of making it into everywhere. You know, even TV series watching that. How is it going with your Amazon Echo?
I love my Echo. I still love my Echo. My Echo, actually, Time Warner here is my internet service provider, and they've been going through some hassles in upgrading the speed lately. So they've actually been going where I have to reset my modem sometimes once a day or once every other day, and I know it's because they're going through a lot of hassles. But my Echo is the way I can tell. So, you know, sometimes you don't know that you're offline.
Yeah.
You keep trying something and it doesn't work and you can't figure out why. I just go over and I say, Alexa, how are you feeling today? And she'll say, sorry, I lost my connection. And then I know that I'm offline. And if I say, Alexa, how are you feeling today? And she's online, she'll respond something like, fine, and how are you? So I'm still madly in love with my Echo. She has learned even more things. She can control some extra devices now that she couldn't do, and she does sports scores a whole lot better than she did before.
Really?
Yeah, before you couldn't ask things like what did the Cubs do today, or when is the next Bengals game, or whatever it is that you want to know.
Mm-hmm.
And now she can answer those questions, which is really cool.
Now, did you get a notification, or did you just one day she started answering them properly, or did you get a notification that these abilities were?
I got a notification that she had more abilities. And the other thing you can do is you can just ask her, hey, Alexa, is there something new you can do today? And she'll tell you what's just been added.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so now she has some new devices that she's controlling, and you just ask her and she'll tell you what they are, and of course you can figure out where to get them. Sure. Amazon.
Oh. And speaking of Amazon, I understand we're going to talk a little bit about their newest, which is their Fire TV, which again I guess is another one that competes with the Apple TV and the Roku, I mean, and the TiVo Bump, all of these, right?
Right, exactly. And when Apple announced their new Apple TV, as you were impressed, I was impressed with the presentation of what it does. I can't wait to see it. But at that time, I wrote an article for the local newspaper, and was telling everybody about this device. And I said, I do believe that not only will Roku come out with a new one, but that Amazon will, because the Amazon Fire TV had been out of stock for over a month at Amazon, and that kind of gives them a little feedback, a little time that you assume they're going to have something new. And believe it or not, the next week they announced their new Fire TV, and they had it come out almost immediately. It came out this week, well before the Apple TV.
Really?
Oh, and the other thing that I advised people in that article, don't go out and buy an Apple TV right now. They're selling them, the old model. They're still going to be selling them. I think they've lowered the price. It might even be under $49 for an Apple TV. But it is a 4-year-old model that can't do half the things you want it to do. So save your money. Don't buy an Apple TV till the new one comes out, or go ahead and buy the Fire TV or one of the new Rokus or something like that.
Yeah, and people still get messed up with that. I remember when Xbox came out with, of course, they went from the Xbox 360 to the Xbox One. And people were going on eBay and Craigslist and stuff, and they were purchasing the original Xbox, the first Xbox, and which was by that time a 10-year-old piece of equipment.
Right. So. Yeah. It's very confusing to people, and not everybody wants to research everything before you go out and buy it.
Right.
But sometimes that's what you have to do.
Well, yeah. I mean, for example, the new Apple TV isn't even out yet. It'll be out sometime later this month. But I mean, comparing the Apple TV, and I want you to do a little bit of that if you can, with the Amazon Fire TV and the Roku. I think Roku 4, they're pushing that out now, and of course the TiVo Bump. Are these all fairly
Bump?
What do you
TiVo
call it?
Bolt.
Bump.
Bump's not bad. I mean, it does have a little.
It does have a bump, yeah.
Oh, Bolt. So I think they should have called it the Bump. But yeah, the Bolt. So I mean, are these all pretty much? If you go any one of the newest generations, are you pretty much okay, or is there a feature that kind of outshines, that kind of puts one of these into the forefront? What's your feeling about that?
They all have a variety of new features. They're all trying to compete with each other, to outdo each other. I understand that this TiVo Bolt, I have not seen it yet, but I understand that it's pretty spectacular in what it can do. TiVo, though, charges a monthly fee just for their TiVo service, which we've talked about monthly fees before, and Craig and I said, we don't want to add any monthly fees that we don't have to. Okay, a lot of people do feel that way. So, so you can't compare the TiVo with the others without knowing that.
Well, isn't the TiVo Bolt also? I mean, it's primarily for people who don't have a TV service that has a grid. I mean, if you get DirecTV, you get a box that has all the grid and all the functionality. You can get an HDR a DVR.
Right.
Right. With most cable companies, I know with Charter here, you get an integrated box. But I guess
like the TiVo Bolt is supposed to be a DVR plus. Like you can integrate
Right.
so many more things into it, including Wi-Fi and all of your subscriptions like Netflix and things like that, and then gaming systems. Like you can run everything through the Bolt, which was their selling point. Not that it's TiVo like TiVo's always been. It's TiVo plus other
a
things.
streaming device, which
Right.
it wasn't really a streaming device previously. So now the TiVo has come into the streaming device area, which has been marketing pretty much the Chromecast, the Apple TV, Fire TV, and Roku.
we're getting such a blur, but we're getting a blurring of these products. I mean, there's a lot of overlap going on here. I know. Again, I keep bringing up DirecTV. DirecTV and their Genie box, which is now their whole home box, which we have here, does a lot of that. They have all these different functionalities built into their DVR box, which is fully integrated into their menu and everything. And it has Wi-Fi, connects via Wi-Fi. They have all these features. So why do I need a TiVo Bolt when I'm doing most everything now with the standard piece of equipment? Well, it's not standard. It's an addition. You can get a standard box, or you can get the Genie, which is the 2 terabyte model and everybody kind of records off of that.
Well, all the streaming devices, whether we talk Roku or Fire or Apple TV, the streaming devices really are geared toward cutting the cord. In other words, cutting off your cable, because some people are finding the cable is so expensive, okay? And so you can get a Netflix subscription for about $9 a month, and you can get HBO for I think $15 a month. And you buy one of these devices that you can stream with, and then you can get rid of your cable. That is really and that's why the cable companies are coming out with more and more things, because they don't want people cutting the cable and just going with the streaming devices.
Or how about satellite? I mean, the DirecTV really seems to be the 800-pound gorilla. It's the one that I know there's Dish as well, but primarily it seems to be DirecTV, especially since they merged now with AT&T.
Right. Well, when I say cutting the cable, I do mean satellite TV as well as cable TV.
Okay. All right.
Okay. It's the same thing where you're paying somebody a large monthly fee to get this whole conglomeration of 300 channels. Well, people are finding out that they don't watch 300 channels. They don't want to pay for 300 channels. Yeah. Okay. And so right now we're in a big transition. Nobody knows how it's going to turn out. I mean, is cable going to win, or are these streaming devices going to win? Maybe the two are going to exist by each other's side for years to come. I don't know. But that's really the difference. I mean, if you're getting this big cable 300 channels with the DVR, you probably don't need these streaming devices.
Right, and also, again, back to DirecTV, we just had them do an upgrade to ours. They have this thing called these little mini things. They're little mini boxes, so you don't even need the standard boxes anymore. You have a screen, you hook the little mini box, which is smaller than an Apple TV, quite frankly, and it basically connects through coax to the Genie, and which is the main box, and it has like 2 terabytes in it, and everybody streams off of that, and that works really, really well as in addition to it. So I guess. But
the bottom line is, what do you pay for your cable bill?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know now. I'm getting a new cable bill. I haven't.
You've added things, right?
It's not pretty.
It's not pretty, but it's about $200, 140, 150 to something around 175, something like that.
Just for television.
Yeah, that's for HBO and Cinemax.
Right.
Every single premium one you can get, because I have the whole thing thrown in there, and also the equipment we have like 5 TVs in the home, and they all have little boxes now, and they all stream off of the one master unit. Well, no, actually we have 2 additional DVRs that also work, so we can record like up to 9 shows, watch and record 9. We can record 9 shows simultaneously if we want to.
Okay, well, call me cheap, but I don't want to pay $200 a month for cable or satellite TV.
Right.
And I'm never going to record 9 channels at one time.
Unless you have a household full of people, which can happen.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I mean, there are instances where each one of these is going to be the best, but I just don't want that. So what I do is I have a pretty basic cable because I want to get the local channels and things like that. Okay, and then I have the streaming devices, and that way your cable bill can come way down. And yes, you will pay for the channels you want to subscribe to on the streaming devices. So any streaming devices, whether we're talking Fire TV or Roku or Chromecast, whatever you're talking, you're pretty much subscribing to certain TV or certain services, like Netflix, Hulu, whatever.
I have Netflix, and I have to say that sometimes it's if for some reason you miss a show, it's nice to be able to go to CBS.com and watch a show. If you miss something, you can catch that because sometimes they don't repeat those shows immediately or make them available for download until a week later. But again, the face of broadcasting is continuously changing. We are caught right now, as you say, in the middle of all of this, and
go ahead.
Until there's a shakeout of this, I don't know, exactly where we're going to find ourselves in 5 years.
Right, and there's a lot more to this than just streaming or not streaming. For instance, on some of the channels like Netflix, where you can watch House of Cards came out, and you could watch every episode for the whole season in a couple seating, so probably a week or however long it takes you to watch that. And that's a real interesting way to watch. So I watched House of Cards that way, and I loved it. But then 2 weeks later, I said, "Oh, now I've got nothing to watch."
Yeah.
So then I felt bad that I had pigged out on it and watched it all at once. So people's watching habits are actually changing as well, and they're trying to adapt to that. So they're saying, okay, if Sandy liked House of Cards, now I'm going to give her Transparent, and I'm going to give her more to watch on Netflix, and I'm going to give her more to watch on Hulu. So it's interesting.
I understand. I did the same thing when Daredevil came out. I binge watched Daredevil. I watched it. It took me like 3 days of constantly watch, and it was wonderful. It was great, of course. But after it was over, I said, gee, well, that's over now. Now I have to wait.
I guess I'm the only one that watches the series again.
Over again? You mean you watch it once and then go back and watch it again?
Yeah. Like the last one I did that too was Arrested Development. I hadn't seen that ever before.
Yep. Okay.
And, I went in, saw all 5 seasons in about 4 days or something like that. And
5 seasons in 4 days.
it was something ridiculous. And yeah, I just rewatch them.
Well, I know there are people that do that. My husband likes to rewatch things like that, and I'm like, I've already seen that. I don't want to watch it again. So it's just different personalities.
It sounds like it.
Yeah,
now we know your personality, Ben.
I know with Daredevil, I didn't watch the entire episodes over, but there were certain scenes in certain episodes that I really wanted to watch again, so I would watch certain scenes again, which was kind of interesting. But I think once I've watched it, you've watched it, and you want to move on, and you want new, because there's still so much to watch, and see that. Well, why do you want to watch stuff that you've already seen when you can watch so many more things?
That's why they're developing new shows for you all the time, Craig.
Yeah, hopefully not just for me. Okay, so Amazon Fire TV
came out this week, just 2 days ago, actually. So I haven't had that much time to look at it, but I have looked at it. It's very interesting.
How so?
Well, the original Fire TV came with a voice remote that you could kind of talk to, but this one comes with, guess who? Alexa. Alexa is built into the Fire TV, and I understand that if you have the older Fire TV with the remote, that they're going to integrate Alexa later on this month to the old one as well. So that'll be very interesting.
So that's not the Alexa in your Echo. This is another Alexa hanging out in the Fire TV.
No, it's Alexa in my Echo.
Oh, it's your Alexa in your Echo. So you use the Echo to control the Fire TV.
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
You don't need Alexa. You don't need an Echo at all. You can buy a Fire TV, the new one, and get Alexa in it. Now what that gives you is you press the record or the microphone button. You can ask her questions. You can have her play music for you just like you can the Echo, but it's all done through your TV. You can have her show pictures, whatever you want to do.
So basically, what you were doing with the Echo, you're doing with the Fire TV, but you have to be near the Fire TV. Whereas with the Echo, it's there all the time in the room or something like that.
Right, and with the Echo, you can just call her name, Alexa, and she responds. With the Fire TV, you have to press the button on the remote control.
Then my next obvious question is that does everything that Alexa knows in the Echo, is that shared with the Alexa that's in the Fire TV? Is it the same Alexa, or is it a different Alexa?
It's the same Alexa.
So anything that the one in the Echo knows about you, the one in the Fire TV is going to know about you.
That's right. Okay, so this was, I'll give you an example of how it worked. Okay, I got the new Fire TV. I hooked it up, and I pressed the button and said, play some music for me. And she started playing music just as Alexa would play music for me on the Echo. Well, the lights in my house, I have the hue lights set up so that every time a new piece of music plays, the hue lights change color.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so when Alexa played music through my TV, the lights still went on and changed colors.
Okay, so she knew. Okay.
So she knows who you are. Obviously you're logged into Amazon on both devices, so she knows what you're sharing, and you can make say you want to have a list. You're making a list of things that you want to buy at the grocery store or whatever. She'll continue the same list whether you do it through the TV or through the Echo.
See, that's nice. That's really nice. So you don't have to retrain her again. Basically, you're sharing the cloud account is basically Alexa, and these devices are allowing you to communicate through Alexa, who's in the cloud, who's the same entity.
Exactly. So it's really kind of cool, especially if you do have an Echo. But even if you don't, this works quite well. So you can ask your TV sports scores or the weather, or have the TV play music for you, which is really cool.
Now, does Alexa keep shopping lists?
Yes.
So you could be at your Fire TV and you say, "Oh, I want to add something to my shopping list," and she'll add M&M. And then when you're back to the Echo, say, "Okay, I want to get everything in there. The M&Ms that you said in the Fire TV are going to be on the."
They're going to be in there. That's right. It sounds confusing as we're talking about it, but it's really not confusing.
It would be confusing if she didn't know that, but the fact that she does, I think, makes it a lot easier.
It does. It's actually a nice device. The Fire TV looks just like the first Fire TV. So it's a square box, maybe about the size of 2 CDs cases together. It's just a little square box. It looks exactly the same. There are 2 different ones that you can buy. There's a gaming edition and a regular edition. Now, I got the gaming edition, and I was extremely disappointed in one thing. It's a gaming control. It looks just like a regular gaming control that you would have with the Xbox or any of those.
Okay.
And it's actually a good control. I've tried it, and it's detailed. It's responsive. It's a good gaming device. And Amazon Fire TV has a lot of games. But the remote control is built into the gaming device. I was expecting to get a remote control, small, little handheld remote control, and the gaming device. Wow. I find it, they didn't send that at all. They sent just the gaming device, the gaming control, and the TV itself.
And you found that the gaming control was a little bit more bulky?
Awkward to use, as far as, you're pressing the A button instead of the X button or whatever. It's not that it's difficult. It's just that the actual main part about the remote that you would have on, you'd normally on a little handheld device, is in the center of this bigger 6-inch wide device.
Could you go back and buy the little remote that's for this particular gaming version and use that when you wanted to use the simple, and then use the gaming device when you want to?
You probably could, because they do sell the remotes separately. So my answer to that is probably yes, you could. But your better bet would be to buy the Fire TV. It's $99 for the Fire TV with the regular remote.
Mm-hmm.
With the gaming device, it's $139.
Okay.
Okay, but the
That's
remote
a
for
for a controller.
the remote for the gaming that you see on the screen if you're watching the video is $39. So why would you not buy the Fire TV, get a regular remote, and then buy the gaming device separately?
That would make sense, and you're saying that would probably work. I don't see why.
That would work just fine. There's no reason why not. What you do get if you buy the gaming version, you get the remote, you get the Fire TV, you get a 32 gig card because it takes an SD card, and you get 2 games. If you buy it regularly, you just buy the Amazon TV. And you get the remote control. You don't get the 32 gig card, and you only get 1 game instead of 2. But I really think that's the better way to buy it.
Really, even unless you really want the games for some reason.
Well, you can get the games separately.
Oh.
I don't know how much the extra game would cost, but
So
still.
Your advice then would be this: buy the Amazon Fire TV and then buy the gaming.
Yes, if you want to do gaming on it. Now we also need to talk about what the Fire TV has. Besides having Alexa built in, which is really nice. Oh, and by the way, Alexa, and I know that the Apple TV is the same way. It can search through various things that you might have on your TV. So, in other words, if I say find House of Cards, it'll come up with the Netflix. It will search through Netflix as well as through Amazon TV.
Ah. Okay.
It'll search through Hulu, or I think whatever you have on there.
That was a big applause stand up for the Apple TV when they said it searches across multiple platforms for the.
Right, and this one seems to do the same because I've tried it just briefly. I've only had it for 2 days, but I have tried it with Netflix, and it brings it up right away with Netflix. So
that's a good thing. That's a
very good thing. And having Alexa on there is another good thing, especially if you have an Echo. Actually, the Fire TV is wonderful if you're part of the Amazon ecosystem. If you have your music on Amazon Prime, and you don't even have to have your music on that because they offer you completely free music, a lot of free videos on Amazon Prime. If you're into the Amazon deal, I think the Fire TV is great. It's also 4K, which I don't believe the Apple TV is going to be 4K. Is it?
You're right.
Greg, did you hear that?
I think you're right. I don't think it's going to be 4K.
It's not.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So this is 4K. Now, personally, I don't have a 4K TV, and there's very little 4K content.
But,
But it's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming quickly, and it's nice to be prepared for that.
And you know what else is coming quickly? The bottom of the hour break.
Okay.
We're gonna take a pause, and then we have another News Tips Bullet review. This is the Computer America Show. We're talking to Sandy Berger. We'll be our consumer electronics expert. We're going to be right back. Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? Not so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they're available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com. Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. The mission of Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is to help build a sustainable, no-kill community where no dogs or cats are ever killed for population control, where true euthanasia is reserved only for animals who are irremediably suffering, or for animals who are truly a threat to society and with no hope of rehabilitation. Brother Wolf's staff and volunteers go door to door, neighborhood by neighborhood, to educate citizens about local resources available for at-risk pets and to help their families connect with those resources. Brother Wolf's community-based approach to no-kill helps keep family pets healthy, happy, and in their homes and out of the local shelter system in the first place. For more information or to make a tax-deductible donation to this wonderful 501c3 organization, visit their website at www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy?
No, just don't tell her how old you are. Oh, hi, it's Marty Winston with the News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, a Sanus rack-mounted power conditioner. For us, surgery turned out to be the activity of cutting out and throwing out all the stuff that fried when lightning sent a huge surge through the office. Imagine our delight when Sanus sent a rack-mounted power conditioner mounting in a 1U rack space, offering 10 protected outlets on the back and 1 on the front, a front master power switch, a digital meter to monitor line voltage or current draw or power draw, and a pair of slide-out LED utility lights to light up whatever's below. It boasts 2400 joule suppression, a 30 decibel 2-stage EMI RFI noise reduction filter, and a connected equipment warranty. Bottom line, the Sanus rack-mounted power conditioner can even take a lot of what's frightening out of very nearby lightning. Marty Winston for News Tips Bulletin and Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show, 33 minutes past the hour, and we have Sandy Berger here with us, who's going to finish out the hour with us. We're talking about the Amazon Fire TV and other, streaming devices. But real quick, I want to make a little announcement that, I just heard that Paramount, they make movies. They have movie titles under their belt. And they have just announced their own official YouTube channel called the Paramount Vault, where they will have a lot of older movies for free in their entirety on YouTube. So Mel Gibson's Hamlet, Beneath Center, Ghost Team 1, Circle of 8, Elvis.
Is that going to be a 4K YouTube channel that they're going to offer that?
I don't think so. I don't know what resolution all these old movies were shot in, but I doubt they were 4K. So if you're a fan of any Paramount movies, and now they're all available for free, sans commercials and all that kind of stuff on YouTube. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Why do you think they're doing that?
Just looking through a lot of the titles here, and I'll be honest with you, not their A list of movies.
Okay.
American Ninja 2, 7 Men from Now. It's movies that I don't think we're going to get a lot of traffic anyways. So by doing this, hopefully they can generate some interest in these movies. If people want them in their DVD collections or whatnot. I guess just throwing people a bone and saying, here's movies that people don't care about anymore. Watch them for free if you'd like. And I think it's a pretty nice move by Paramount.
Yeah, I think good. At the very least, good PR.
At the very least. So yeah, and again, the Paramount Vault. So check out movies there. Full length in their entirety.
One more reason to cut the cord.
One more reason. Well, I'll be honest with you. Looking through the titles, I don't think this is going to cause anyone to cut the course. Like, oh, finally, I can watch The Crocodile Hunter. No longer need that.
Well, if you can't sleep at night, though, it sounds like a good channel to keep in mind.
Right. So no, but okay. So that was a little bit of news that's deviating. But one thing I do want to point out here with between the Apple Watch, the Amazon Fire TV, all these devices that we've been talking about lately, they may come out at a certain time. The Apple Watch came out a couple weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago now. I don't.
Couple months.
Yeah, time is a weird thing. But even after they're released, these things get better. Sandy Berger saw it with the Amazon Echo. It's they can actually put this hardware out, but then the functionality, the different use cases, all these kinds of things, they can actually come later, and these things get better, long after you actually put down the money to buy these things.
I mean, yeah, the Amazon Echo is a pale shadow of when it first came out. Now it's got so much more, right, Sandy?
Right, and it's exciting. It's exciting to see my Echo every day learning new things. Now she can call bingo or whatever, play games, word games, math games. But Ben is absolutely right. Other companies are doing the same thing, maybe because Amazon started it. I'm not sure. Amazon itself is going to include Alexa in the old Fire TVs, which again is nice. But other companies are doing the same thing, and it's phenomenal. Like the Watch. The Watch did come out a couple months ago, but this new operating system, which made it even better, just came out 2 weeks ago. And it's just wonderful to be able to buy these devices, and instead of having them be completely obsolete within a year, now we can keep using them, and they're making them better. I think that's one of the most exciting things about the devices today.
Yeah, I agree. I remember when it first all kind of started when you bought software and then a new version came out, you had to go to the store and buy the next version or upgrade. And then they started making, oh, I can upgrade this. I can download the next version of it and upgrade the software. This is wonderful. And now that same concept is with hardware. I mean, I have my 5S, but now I have iOS 9.0.2 running on it, and it has all these new abilities. Most of the new abilities that you get with the new phones. Granted, the larger screen and the touch. I mean, those things that are part of hardware, you can't do that. But so many of the new abilities you can, and it keeps the product younger for a longer time.
And I think it's really exciting, but I will say one thing. People always find something to complain about. So when I plugged this Fire TV in, I mean, this is the first day that they were sent out, right? I plugged it in, and it said, upgrading the software. And I was really aggravated. Hey, this is the first day this came out, and it's already got an upgrade. But then I had to stop and realize what we were just talking about and saying, okay, that's a good thing. Let it go ahead and upgrade. And maybe it's going to be faster or better or whatever than it was before.
And it is,
And it is. And that's the one thing that we didn't talk about with this new Fire TV. It is noticeably faster than the old Fire TV. It looks the same, and your old Fire TV, if not the Fire TV stick, but the full Fire TV, will have Alexa built in and will be quite usable. But this new one not only does 4K, but it is noticeably quicker, which makes a huge difference in when you're sliding from one thing to another.
Yeah, I mean, obviously these companies are in the business to make money, and so you don't want to have one device that will just be upgradable via software and you don't have to worry about it, or firmware. I mean, there's still going to be improvements that are fundamentally integrated into the hardware itself, so you're going to get faster speeds and that type of thing. But it's nice that both are available, because when you do finally, because everybody, you have to buy it sometime. You can say, oh, I'm going to wait for the next one. Eventually you're going to have to buy it. When you do, just know that you're going to have a lot of longevity built into it, but also know at the same time that a newer version eventually a year later will come out.
Right, but this will have longevity, especially with the 4K, because if you have a 4K TV and you have Netflix, although Ben probably would be able to know this more than I think Netflix is going to be charging an extra $4 a month or something for their 4K data. Isn't that right, Ben?
I haven't heard anything about extra charges for 4K content. I haven't looked into it actually, so you might be right. But like my understanding was they're giving a couple pieces of 4K content. Like they're not. It's not going to be a separate service. So.
Okay, well maybe that's true. In any case, Netflix and the others are going to 4K. Televisions are going to 4K, and if you watch the difference, it's pretty dramatic. It's absolutely amazing if you watch an old TV and in a new 4K TV. None of us want to have to go out and buy a new TV, but I am hoping that my old TV kicks the bucket soon. Let me put it that way. Every time I turn it on, okay, it went on again.
Maybe
because there's nothing wrong with my old TV.
Maybe just a little accidental gentle push.
No, I don't think I could do that.
Yeah. By the way, I just looked it up, and no extra cost for the 4K for Netflix. There's not a lot of content, I'll admit. Like there's like a lot of nature scenes and things like that. But one thing you should note is that to stream 4K Netflix, 25 megabits per second connection speed or higher.
Yes, you definitely need a really good, fast broadband connection. No doubt about that. But I'll tell you that this new Fire TV actually gives you a little bit better picture than the old Fire TV. Even on, I guess it must upscale it a little bit because of the 4K. Because I put the two of them as close as I could to, together, and I thought that this new one gave a very, very good picture.
Wow. Well, they're always going to be. I mean, if you put them side by side, certainly can. I'm wondering if you watched one or the other, would you really have noticed a difference unless you compare them side by side?
I don't think you would.
Yeah.
I don't think most people can tell the difference between a regular HD transmission and a Blu-ray, and there is a difference. Mm-hmm. But once you start watching a movie, you get so engrossed in it, you really don't see the difference anymore, even if you saw it when you started.
And you stop thinking about, wow, this is a great picture, because you want to get into what the movie is itself. So you finally you kind of dismiss that.
And the whole idea is that you get absorbed in the movie, isn't it?
Right,
so
exactly. Yeah. So you can watch now. If you're watching nature scenes, if you want to have like outdoor scenes or something on it, that would be nice, But then you're going to be, oh, look how wonderful that looks. It looks like just I'm looking out a window or something.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to watching a movie, and again, we've discussed it before, some people really like the granular looks to a movie, because when it's too realistic, it looks like it can't be. You're not watching a movie anymore.
I don't have that problem.
Yeah. Well, it's like watching. Watching a live newscast, you can see, that you're watching something live, and when you watch a movie and it's like you're watching it live, it's hard to. There's a certain component. Now maybe this is just with older generation who grew up with that, but I noticed that when I watch something I watched Terminator 2 on a ultra high definition TV, and that was like it bothered me. Something wasn't quite right, It was like it was too perfect. It was like live, but this couldn't really be the same Terminator movie that I watched. I don't know. It's we discussed this with Dariush Dekrashani, Ben, our video guru, and he kind of mentioned that too. That a lot of people have that effect. It has that effect on them.
Kind of like vinyl records, I guess.
Maybe.
Yeah, it could be. Matters back. Speaking of music, I should say that the one thing that the Fire TV does is, because Alexa is built in, it can play anything from the Prime music. So if you subscribe to Prime, Amazon Prime, all their music is free to you. So you can just say, Alexa, play Fleur Elise, or whatever you want her to play. Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, and she'll play it for you.
Or a little Bach or Brahms.
Or Bach, or whatever you want to play. So it's really nice to have an Amazon Prime account if you're going to go with the Fire TV.
There you go. Anything else you want to mention about the Fire TV? Because we have a little more time, and I want to talk about the Windows 10 spying on this story. But anything else about Amazon Fire TV?
I noticed that the remote, the gaming remote, actually had in a music, what do I want to say, a headphone port
Oh.
on it, and it does Dolby Audio, so it was very, very nice. I don't know if the regular remote has that on or not, but the gaming port did.
Okay.
So.
All right. So again, we're still in the lurch here. If you're making a decision, do I want the Amazon Fire TV? Do I want the Apple TV? Do I want the new what is it? The Roku 4.4. We're looking at the TiVo Bolt. All these options. I guess the bottom line is that it's nice to have options. But you're going to have to do a little research, see what your requirements are for your TV and your watching, and then hopefully make the proper decision.
Yeah, and wait for the Apple TV to come out and see if it's as good as Apple says it was.
No, watching the keynote was amazing.
It looked really amazing. It looked actually, from the keynote, it looked better than the Fire TV, but we don't know that until we try it, get in our hands. So.
And you'll have one, and hopefully in November we'll talk to you about it.
Yes, I will.
I don't often like to bring up reviews because they're just other people's opinions, but Amazon, they do have a nice website where customers can leave their reviews of a product,
right?
And it's a nice little crowdsource thing, and I will say that it has almost as many 1-star reviews as it does 5-star reviews.
Do you know why? I did go before the show. I went on and looked at the reviews, and all the reviews that have low star ratings, it's for the exact same reason that was my main complaint. The remote control built into the gaming device is just too cumbersome, and most everybody that ordered it on Amazon didn't realize that they didn't get another remote with it. And when I opened the box, I was amazed that I didn't get another remote.
Right.
So people were expecting to get a remote control and then get the gaming device. That's not what they gave. Now, I'm not saying that Amazon didn't say that on their website before they put it up for sale. I don't know. I didn't look at it. But that's what people were very disappointed in.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
All right, so let's move on to this next topic. And again, Sandy asked the question, is Windows 10 spying on us? Is it?
What do you think? Have you heard all the media hype over it? I've had people emailing me all the time since Windows 10 came out because there has been a lot of media hype over this.
What was it that we did a news story? Was it 110 million people now have upgraded to Windows 10 in the first?
That's right.
Yeah, those are the latest numbers.
Yeah.
That's right. So is Microsoft spying on all those people? I mean, people have written to me saying, I understand that they're taking all of our data off of our computers and making a copy of it. Now, I don't know how many terabytes, what's bigger than a terabyte? Exabytes.
Petabyte, isn't it?
Petabytes, okay. Of data that they would be talking about. It would be impossible to be doing, actually. But these are the rumors that are flying about. So people are really worried about this. And so I went online and I investigated, and I read all the legal spiegel from Microsoft about Windows 10. I went back to Apple and read theirs. I went to Google and read theirs. You know what the bottom line is?
What?
They're all saying the same thing.
Which is?
And they're all being very vague. Which is we're collecting certain amount of data, and the data that we collect is all to help make our product better so that we can better serve you. That's basically what all three of them are saying.
Yeah,
that's a noble ambition.
But it's vague. It's very, very vague.
It is vague, and we have already given up our privacy. I mean, we have. I mean, we've sold ourselves. So these companies are taking advantage of that, and I'd like to see some really security-minded people going after some of this stuff and making them be more specific in their legal terminology and all that. But the fact of the matter is, I don't believe that Windows at Microsoft is doing anything more with Windows 10 than other companies are doing with their operating systems.
Yeah, I mean, we already, like, we've talked about many times on the show before, we live in the era of big data. These companies are collecting as much data as possible, and really, enter a Fortune 500 company, and whatever company you deal with, they're trying to collect your data. I mean, you can't go to the grocery store and buy a gallon
Right.
of milk without them wanting, a phone number from you. We live in the day and age of big data, and Microsoft, being, the most popular operating system in the world, of course they're going to be in the same racket, and they just want, honestly, I'm with you. I think that, they're not doing anything malicious, but they are collecting as much data as possible. What you do, how long are you there, where are you going, what do you do on your computer, what's the load on your computer. Like, they want to know all the data points they possibly can. That way they can build better computers, they can build better platforms, they can have better advertising, they can better target their market. They're doing all these things, but it only happens after they collect all the data they possibly can.
That's right. I mean, you're absolutely right. That's what it's all about. That's what makes the world go around. And these people that are coming to me and saying, I think Microsoft is spying on us with Windows 10, these people have their keychains filled with the cards from
Right.
5 or 6 or 10 different places, reward cards. Well, yes, they get rewards for the cards, but guess what? The grocery store knows exactly what you purchased.
Mm-hmm.
And they can tell you what you've purchased, and they can tell everybody else what you've purchased. Maybe not by your name, but again, if they want to turn bad, they can. Any of these big companies that really wanted to be devious, to be really devious, could. And there have been many movies about that sort of thing. So.
Right. Yeah, it's these companies but another thing is, like, I personally don't have a problem with Microsoft collecting as much as they can, because when you first install Windows 10, it's admittedly a little bit off the beaten path of the installation process, but you can decide what information you send to Microsoft. And a lot of people did not know that. A lot of people didn't turn it off, but there are ways to go back and turn that kind of stuff off. Will 90% of the populace out there using Windows 10 do that? Probably not. Even after we talk about it, they probably won't go into their settings and change these settings that they could easily do. But, like, I really don't have a problem with Microsoft doing that. I think what they should be more clear what they're doing is, what are they doing with the data after they collect it? Because if they're doing it, to show that, people are using our computers for this, and this, so we need to make computers, next year for this, and this purpose to cater to that, I'm fine with that. But what a lot of other companies do is they treat it like a separate revenue stream, and they actually sell the data to companies that deal strictly with data, so that they can make up profiles for all these kind of things. It's a little bit off topic, but are they selling the data to third parties, as a way to build up a profile on you? And that kind of gets a little shady. But if they're doing it for their own purposes and their own data collections, like, I'm personally okay with that.
And Microsoft has tried to clarify it just recently. They did a kind of massive blog post about what data they're actually collecting and what they're using it for. And on the CompuKIS website, you can go and read about it. There's links on that. There's several articles that I've written about the privacy and security and all that, and what you should believe and not. And if you read that, there are also instructions for Windows 10 going into the settings and setting the privacy and security options, which a lot of people don't know you can do, but actually Windows 10 has more options for setting security than any other operating system. In other words, you have more control over it than most of the other companies are offering you.
Right. Yeah, and like this whole topic, I've met people from every generation that they are completely wary, like they're so unsure about what technology is doing, because I've met young people, old people, that, like, when the whole story broke about, I think it was a Samsung television, there was some smart television that it would it would have a microphone, you say his name, and you could search through it using voice commands, and, like, people were like, oh, these TVs are spying on you because they save the voice clips, and then let's say there's someone talking in the background as you're trying to control your TV, it's of course going to pick that up. It's like that television company doesn't care about what you're talking about in the background. It's just trying to hear you, and of course it's going to get that data. Like, people, I think they get a knee-jerk reaction, and then they say, well, that's trying to spy on me. I'm scared of it. And everyone does it. Everyone does it.
That's right, and I've had people come back and say the Echo with Alexa, but she's listening all the time. You know, if you and your husband have an argument, that Echo is able to record that, and they'll come back with you. You know, and I know that I know personally a lot of security and privacy people who actually take these devices apart to make sure that they're not spying on you. The Echo also has an on-off switch. If you really don't want her to listen, you can turn it off. You can unplug it. But in order to gain the advantages that you have for all these devices, you have to use them, and you have to allow it to do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. So the bottom line conclusion then, Sandy, is what?
Oh, wait, actually, I have the bottom line right here. The bottom line is that if you use any cloud storage... Oh, no, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Well, no, you're right. The bottom line is if you use any cloud storage system, and I won't read it, but I'll paraphrase it, if you use anything that you're storing in the cloud, you know, you're taking a chance. There's just no doubt about it. You're relying on the company that you're working with. And the only way to get around that is to get off the internet. That means your smartphones, your computers, any devices like Alexa, out. Don't use them anymore. And so if you want to cut the cord on the internet rather than on TV, you know, you can do that, but that's the only way that you're really going to be totally secure and know. Yeah. But then you're still going to be giving your data out at the grocery store or whatever, because that's the way of the world today. So
it's the world that we live in, and accept it at this point, you know, and know that that for the most part, a lot of good things are going to happen to you and for you. Well, Sandy, we're pretty much out of time. Again, I want to thank you for being here with us, as always, and I know you got here a week earlier. Mike Cermak is out of town. He's going to be using your time slot next week from techguy.org. And then Ben and I are going to see you back here in November. It'll be November the 11th, which is the second Wednesday. And hopefully you'll have time to play around with some of the things that we didn't get a chance to really go into depth with.
Yeah, and I'm hoping to have the Apple TV by then. So
yeah,
that'll be really great.
Right, exactly, and maybe you'll find out even more things you can do with your Apple Watch.
That's right. You never know. Things will be more and more.
And
90 seconds.
And maybe you'll upgrade to a 6S. Well, who knows? Or a 6S Plus.
We'll find something to surprise you with, Craig.
That's it. Okay.
All right.
Stay with us to the end. Coming up tomorrow, Slimware Utilities is going to be joining us. Slimware Utilities, our sponsor, is going to be joining us in our sponsor hour, and we're going to have one of the Slimware representatives on the show in the first hour, talking about all the cool things they do at Slimware Utilities. And in the second hour, we'll have computer and technology news.
Seconds.
Brought to you by Slimware Utilities. They are the official optimization software of Computer America. Again, thanks to all of you for listening to us here, and hopefully you got some great insights, and to help you make those very important purchasing decisions that are in store for you. So thank you all so much for being with us. And Ben and I are going to see you here, same time, same station, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. So until tomorrow afternoon, this is Craig Crossman hoping that your hard disk never becomes floppy. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon.
Have a good one, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
10 seconds. Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Okay, again, thank you all for watching us on the show. And Ben and I will see you tomorrow afternoon. Sandy, again, thank you for being with us. We'll see you next month. Okay?
It was fun. See you.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks again, Sandy. Bye.